Why don't we jump right into our
Woo.
first topic of the day?
Sure.
Subscriptions. Come on! Not accelerate. Oh, man. Okay. I want to jump in real quick here and say that the editorializing in our notes is unacceptable. And the writer who worked on this topic, you know who you are, Alex Clark.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Oh.
Okay, these are not my words. Not satisfied with just making the worst electric cars around, Mercedes will now be locking increased acceleration under a $1,200 yearly subscription.
Oh.
All right, this is me now. This is me.
So much.
Can I just say that even though Alex is so angry about this, you can almost tell that subliminally he has kind of accepted the premise of a subscription. And here, I will explain what I mean by that. He describes it as them locking increased acceleration behind a $1,200 yearly subscription. I think that if we described this situation 10 years ago, we would have said holding or holding acceleration hostage unless you pay $1,200 of ransom.
Yeah.
Right? Because the acceleration is there.
Yeah. You were supposed to be more mad.
Yeah. You weren't mad enough.
Yeah, come on.
So I
more
do not,
editorializing.
I do not agree with Alex's approach to this topic. For real though, we've kind of accepted it. We say you pay this much to get more. We don't think of it as, what, I haven't paid enough and you're taking it away? But that's what it is. The battery performance is clearly in the vehicle. The motor performance is clearly in the vehicle. And unlike some situations where, and we'll talk about one in a moment, where I've even defended subscriptions to unlock functionality, there is no additional R&D in this product that was going to be no benefit to the average user of it, but that they had to do for a small subset of users who, well, then have to pay for that cost recovery.
You're buying a Mercedes, you probably want this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And unlike some situations where maybe the cost of the product is extremely low, like say, for example, in many cases, even something like a cell phone. A lot of the time, you get the hardware subsidized by the monthly subscription. And ultimately, you are paying for it. You're paying for it and then some.
Yeah.
But you're getting it on a payment plan. No, this is a car you already f***ing bought.
Yeah. It's literally just a microtransaction of $1,200 for a car.
$1,200.
That's a lot.
$100 a month.
Yeah.
Think about the things in your life that cost $100 a month.
The internet connection to my house that gets extensive use.
Extensive use.
Oh, yeah. And is like, that's the only thing it does. Of course it's a subscription. It has to be used monthly.
Yeah.
I don't own the lines. I don't own the distribution, all that type of stuff.
So
super frustrating. I am really hopeful that automotive hackers just wreak havoc on all of this stuff. I don't know if that's like super
hold on.
friendly.
We would hate for that to happen.
Definitely don't want that.
Super upsetting,
but
I think.
If people went in there and unlocked this, and also the heated seats and also everything else that's going on.
Think of the poor automakers.
Wouldn't that be horrible?
Wouldn't that be a shame for them? Well, you know why this is happening, Luke? I don't even necessarily think that this is down to a consumer acceptance of this practice. This is down to a shareholder expectation that when something is sold, it generates ongoing revenue.
Yeah.
Like I was talking to someone, I don't want to identify this person. So it was someone either on the doing of or receiving end of some kind of VC something. Okay. So venture capital. And what they basically said was that no VC wants to even start a conversation with you unless there's a recurring revenue model. And you can see this reflected in the stocks of mature companies that are kind of sitting here going, and you could describe the automotive industry as fairly mature. Tesla came in, they disrupted because they had a value add. They had a promise of something different. Autonomous driving, for example, was going to be a source of ongoing revenue for them. It was going to change them from just a car company to a data company, to a software company, right? And especially at that time, software company valuations were nothing like hardware company valuations, right?
And nothing like they are now.
So this is a way for a mature company like a Merce-these to say, hey, we're building hardware as a service, right? We've got recurring revenue. We're going to put out, however many hundreds of thousands of these cars this year, and they are going to be the gift that keeps on giving for a decade, 2 decades to come. Well, it sucks. It sucks because cars cost enough already, Merce-these.
To me, this feels like a big part of the reason why so many people have been against right to repair for a long time, because right to repair, I think, would shelter a lot of activities that would get people to a point where they could bypass this type of stuff. Because hardware interventions...
Oh, when you said people being against right to repair, I thought you meant consumers. And I was like, no, I think consumers who are against right to repair are simply brainwashed.
Yeah.
I actually do think it's that straightforward.
Or the reason for brainwashing or whatever else, however you want to flag it.
So the advocates against right to repair.
I think a lot of it has been because of this type of stuff, because it's... If people have full control over the things that they own, which is how that should work, it's easier for them to bypass these types of things, to enable this by default, by bypassing it physically or doing whatever else. This sucks. I wouldn't buy a Merce-these.
Alan,
I wasn't going to anyways, to be clear.
Yeah, well.
But now I definitely won't.
Alan on Floatplane says, you just described my favorite topic, Linus, the financialization of the economy. It all traces back to Reagan-era policy changes and deregulation. One of the most mind-boggling things, and if you feel like this is a political conversation, you're wrong. It's not political, it's just math. Math is not political, it's just numbers, okay? One of the most mind-blowing things to me is the acceptance among certain groups of the idea of trickle-down economics.
Oh, yeah.
It is... So I had this conversation with my dad a little while ago because he listens to a lot of podcasts and gets a lot of ideas that I simply can't follow him there. But this was one thing in particular that I went, look, Pops, we got to talk about this because you are literally a math teacher. If you cannot follow me with the math on this and come to the conclusion that no, in fact, this is not a good concept and not something that could ever make any sense or ever work, I don't know if we're living in the same reality anymore.
Yeah.
The argument, okay? The argument for trickle-down economics, right, is that if you tax the businesses less, they will have more money left over to shower upon their employees, right? That's the idea. It will put more money into the economy where it will circulate, which is a good thing. That's the idea. Let me explain why it doesn't work, okay? I am a business owner, and this was the only way I was able to get through to him. I was able to get through to him. I am a business owner.
That's rare.
So let's give me a couple hypotheticals here. Let's say that I had a tax rate of about 50%. Okay? Just to use nice, easy numbers. So let's say my business does $1 million of profit. Okay. On that profit, you only pay taxes on profit. Okay. You don't pay taxes on gross revenues. You pay taxes after all of your expenses and deductions. You pay it on your profit. So if I have a high tax rate, I just paid $500,000 in taxes, right? Which sucks. Nobody wants to pay $500,000 in taxes. And so I can see where on the surface you might reach this conclusion that, okay, well, we should probably tax you less so that you hire more people. Here's the mind-blowing bit. If I hired more people, say $500,000 worth of people, the taxes that I would pay on the $500,000 that I was left with for profit are actually only $250,000. Now, you might say, yeah, but Linus, 500 grand left over is a lot better than 250 grand left over. It is, but, and this is one of the biggest lies of trickle-down economics, that it incentivizes. By lowering taxes, you incentivize investments into businesses so that they'll grow. Let's think. What would be most efficient if I had a high tax rate? Spending half of my money paying taxes, or hiring people, growing the size of my business, reinvesting in it, and ultimately making money like that by doing something productive, by creating jobs and growing the size of my business.
And value of the company.
Now, let's do it the other way. Let's say the tax rate is only 10%. So now I have that $1 million and I'm thinking, oh, I paid $100,000 in taxes. I got 900 grand. Well, that seems pretty good. I think I'll keep it. It's not like you have to do like a deep psychological analysis of human behavior.
I mean, with basic observation, you can see it across the board.
That's pretty obvious. So now if I were to spend, $500,000 hiring more people, why?
Yeah, 400.
Yeah, I just won't do that. I'll just take more. And that's what has created this climate where people are incentivized to simply hoard wealth like dragons, because that 900 grand is very effectively deployed either in the markets or in, resources, speculative investments, whatever the case may be. Whereas if you tell me, well, hey, if you don't use it on your operating company, I'm going to take it away. Well, I'm highly incentivized to invest it into my operating company.
Yeah.
That's how this works. That's how the growth that took place leading up to the 80s happened. I have no idea how receptive people are to this topic or whatever else, but it's something that's really important to me and really frustrating to me.
Especially as a business owner who literally runs into that problem.
Well, yeah. As a business owner who doesn't have to put myself in a hypothetical situation to understand how I could be incentivized one way or the other. No successful business owner likes wasting money. And pretty much every successful business owner sees paying taxes as pretty much a spectacular waste of money. It has no benefit to me at a certain point.
From your level of perception, you're deleting it.
I don't think anybody likes paying taxes. Obviously, I'm pretty grateful that there's somewhere to there's somewhere to take my kids to get an education.
There's a road to get there.
There's a road to drive on.
Yeah.
Right? But from like a my bank account standpoint, I don't think it's a wild belief or a wild perception to say that once taxes leave my wallet, they're gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
to bring us back to the Merce-these conversation.
Yeah, please do.
There's a really, really good comment in Flowplane chat, so I wanted to bring it out. Whiskey Nerd 88 said the state of New Jersey banned subscription models like this for cars. I am proud of my state for this. Amazing. Absolutely fantastic. Way to go, New Jersey.
Yeah, can we just find more politicians like the ones who got that going?
Yeah.
And only elect people like that.
That'd be great.
That would be perfect.
I have no idea who did that, but good job, New Jersey, because that's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, shout out.
Super, super cool.
Shout out. So,
but yeah, no, I don't even know how we got onto that topic.
Yeah, sorry, I don't know.
But I think that was a good rundown because I feel pretty strongly about all that as well.
There was another topic that was in the chat that I had really wanted to talk about, but I didn't copy paste it into my little notepad, so I guess I missed out on it.
Someone said, "Doesn't New Jersey stop you from pumping your own gas, though?" We didn't say they're perfect. We're just proud of them for this one thing. Okay, I don't know that much about New Jersey. Just
you know what?
No subscriptions for cars is great. Good job.
And
everyone can have a win sometime.
Yeah, just because they're not perfect all the time doesn't mean that we shouldn't say great job when they do something right.
Absolutely.
I think the world needs a little bit more of that.
Yeah.
You know what? I don't agree with you about everything, but you nailed that one. Good job. We need more of that, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of discussion about taxes in the Floatplane chat. Yeah, paying taxes is good when it's spent properly, says Poner Guy. Watching it get pissed away on, $6,000 a night hotel rooms makes me want to abolish tax. Yeah, 100%. Taxes are great.
Misuse of taxes is really frustrating.
Misuse of taxes is infuriating.
That happens a lot. We were talking recently. Whoa. Don't know if I want to go down that road. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
The $6 billion a year thing or whatever? I don't know if
I think we can talk about it without I do not wish to wade into this debate because it's an extremely complex topic. And if anyone claims to have a simple solution, they're either a simpleton or a liar. We have a homelessness crisis in Vancouver that I think is fairly well publicized throughout the world. And there's a lot of debate on,
5 billion.
Yeah, there's a lot of debate on every side of this issue, of this very complex, multifaceted issue, about what the best way to tackle it is, whether it's safe injection sites or whether it's a harder stance against the availability of the substances that lead people to this homelessness and opioid abuse crisis that we're facing in our city. And one of the things that, regardless of what the correct solution is, that came to light recently here in Vancouver is that the cost of the ongoing upkeep and care is so high, like so astronomically high, that it sort of defies any kind of reason.
It feels unimaginable that they couldn't have done something more with $5 billion a year in funding.
Yeah.
Like whatever it is, I'm not saying that I have the answer.
No, and I'm not saying that I have the answer either. It's an extraordinary, complicated issue.
Absolutely. But to see that many people still struggling in that way.
Suffering.
Absolutely. Knowing that $5 billion is being spent to theoretically ease that suffering and seeing it still going on is like, what? I don't know. I don't think it's a thing that you can completely solve at any point in time, but the level of it in Vancouver is brutal. So
yeah,
it's not even where we are. Like, we're not even that close to Vancouver, but you don't want something in your backyard to be that
nobody wants their
poorly
neighbor to
taken
suffer.
care of. Yeah, exactly.
And if they do, they suck.
Yeah.
If you want your neighbor to suffer, you suck. It's that simple, right?
Yeah. Anyways, off that sad topic.
Prime Gaming's Biggie 229. That's a Twitch username if I've ever seen one. Devil's Advocate. This extra charge on the Merce-these covers the extra usage of equipment due to that acceleration, in parentheses, warranty costs. So you can sell the same car, but Joe, who doesn't care for the G-force, doesn't pay, doesn't get 0 to 60 in however many, single handfuls of seconds. But Jimmy does care, and it might cost more in warranty returns, so he covers the cost using this charge. It's not a bad devil's advocate argument, but I would make the argument that if that little bit of extra acceleration is going to make the car blow up, then you probably shouldn't have it available at all.
Yeah, sounds good.
That's my response to that. So if it's validated for it, then you should unlock it. And honestly speaking, car warranties suck anyway. They are not very generous. And to be clear, it's not like I'm not painfully aware of the warranty debacle that we went through recently, but it's not the same thing. Car warranties are laid out in very black and white terms, and it's very clear from my interactions with every dealer and every car manufacturer that I've ever encountered that they will do absolutely everything they can to avoid taking care of you. It's the very opposite of trust me, bro, which we go out of our way to make sure that even if something's not covered by our warranty, we take care of the customer. It's a completely different philosophical approach to warranty coverage. And so from my point of view, I just don't have any sympathy for car manufacturers and their feeble warranty coverage at all.
Yeah, screw them. All right, should we talk about the other stuff in here? Because it's not just Merce-these. We talked recently about...
Alex had one more thing to talk about there, and I think it's probably fair to point out.
Did I miss it?
Yeah, the acceleration increase is going to boost horsepower and torque of the various trims by 20 to 24%, so it's not insubstantial. Improving 0 to 60 times by almost a second, which is a lot. And Alex said, and I think he's right here, I'm actually not super against users paying once for an update like this, especially, in... It could be less, maybe this is just him accepting again. It could be less toxic. I mean, what I'd like to see is if they do the R&D and figure out that it's like better, then they should just keep selling more cars and roll it out to everybody. Provide extra value for under promise, over deliver, right? But he's right. It could be a lot less worse. Like if they put in the R&D to increase the acceleration, which is not insubstantial. You have to go and take these cars that you like already worked on, already finished, already delivered, and go do a bunch more extensive testing on them and go, oh, wow, we can actually squeeze a little bit more out of this. Then yeah, by all means, offer that as an OTA update to an old model, but to be planning on it. The 2024, be planning on it and offering it as a subscription when you're clearly doing the work ahead of time.
Not as a one-time either.
Yeah, it's kind of like day zero DLC. You know, you remember how frustrated people used to get. I just installed the DLC's on the disc. You already fucking made it. I just paid full price for this game. And it's not like they're giving you a discount on the car.